Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Harry Potter painting series. In this one we're going to be focusing on how I prime my miniatures before painting. It's zenithal priming, or some people call it pre-shading. It's where you use successive lighter colours to highlight certain areas. I always have my light coming from above, hence zenithal, and I'm just going to take you through that process now. You can get away with it with just using black and white, but you'd have to mix the grey obviously, but having a grey saves time. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so here's the mini we'll be working on, Mad Eye Moody, and I've already sprayed in black out in the shed. I just use a standard rattle can black to get most of the coverage, but I will concentrate the spray from underneath. I'm not bothered so much about going down the way, because we're going to be covering that with grey and white just shortly. So I'll start mixing the primer. Ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to be working on Mad Eye Moody. I've already sprayed in black out in the shed. I just use a standard rattle can matte black, and I concentrate the spraying from below, so I'm spraying that away, and I'm not too concerned about getting any paint on his shoulders or his head, because that's where we're going to be spraying the grey and the white to get the transitions. So let's get started. I'll start mixing the paint. I always use a couple of drops of flow improver in my airbrush to start with, so I'll put a couple of drops in. If I can move that just into shot, you'll see what's going on. So that was 1, 2, 3 there. I'm going to be doing a few other figures off camera while I'm doing this. So I've got my grey. I'll fill about half the cup up. And I'll only need, I think this grey is a little bit light for what I like, so I always add a little bit of black to it if I can open it. Very sparingly I put 3 drops in there. And I'll give it a mix. And a little bit of thinner. I use Tamiya Thinners, but you can use anything really. There's 3 drops in there. A bit more water on my brush. And I think we're ready to go. So I've got like a mid-tone grey. There we have lift off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it so that the miniature is about 45 degrees in relation to the the direction of the paint coming out with the airbrush. So I want to get coverage everywhere where light will hit it from above first of all. A bit better. You better keep your airbrush moving. And then I'll leave it to dry, so I'll just give it a blast without paint coming out, just to dry it off a little bit, and then I'll start concentrating putting some grey down where I want it to go, like on the folds of the coat, down the stick as well. I haven't got any highlights on the stick yet, so we'll do that first. Just check I've got flow. There we are. Just gently down the stick so it picks up the raised areas. That's cool. Checking I've got flow against the cork there, and then I'll move up. The folds of the jacket. Okay. At the back there's a dip in the small of his back. I don't want to get any grey in there if I can help it. So I'll just do that area again. I'll do the top of the shoulder, and then I'll do the waist there. So I've missed out that bit in the middle of the back, and I'll also put a little bit along the bottom of the coat there. So we've got a couple of different tones there, so that'll be lovely when we put a nice thin coat of paint over the top of that. It'll pick up the shadows there. So I'm relatively happy with that. Let's do the face. There we are. And that'll be it for the grey. So I'll just clean out my airbrush and we'll come back and do the white. Okay, so I'm ready with the white now. And what you can do to start with is just go from directly above and just build it up. Just try and get some on the brow of the head there. Might have to refocus, I think. Hang on. Okay, that's a wee bit better. So now I'm going to put some on the lapel there. A little bit in the middle and a little bit down towards the bottom and the top of his shoe. Just to break things up a bit. We'll do the lapel on this side, top of the arm, the skull on the top of the staff. I'm just picking out the folds there. This will take a wee bit of practice to get it, but stick with it. I'm going across the middle of the back again. I'm trying to go in a smaller area. So always check how much coverage you've got on your brush before you actually go across. Okay, I forgot the chest as well. I'll do the chest. Fairly happy with that. Okay, so there's a finished article. As I say, I'm quite happy with that. We have got white from above, we've got the mid-tones, and we've still got the black from underneath. You can see under the arms there. And if you've seen some other videos that I've done, you know, this thin painting method that I've got, if the paint is thin enough, when you put a coat on, you can still see the highlights and the shadows, and it saves a hell of a lot of time. Just as a matter of interest, I did... battery's going on my computer. I did these two outside in the shed. I used the rattle can method, so I did black, grey at about 60 degrees angle, and then white from up above, and I think I might as well have primed it just white. You know, there's a lot more white than you actually need there, whereas this one was done with the airbrush, and you've got more of a variation there, more shadows. I think because you use the airbrush, it's more precise. You can put the highlights where you want the highlights to go. I think it's more apparent on this one I did for Batman. You can see the cross has got, it's got highlights and shades on it. And on the back of the coat there, you can see it more, I think. So you've got the white coming across here, you've got the grey there, and back to the white again. And under the arm you've still got the black. And you can place highlights where you want there, where you think that, if you look from above, the white is hitting everywhere that the light can see it. So I've gone for the forearm rather than the hand. I've gone for the thigh rather than the shin. Once you start thinking about where you want your highlights, it makes it a lot easier. So there we are. Let's do a wrap up now. So back to Mr. Moody then. Yeah, fairly happy with it. So I'm gonna start painting him in a couple of days. I've got a queue of things in front of him, but I was thinking maybe do the same colours as the coat for Hagrid, but I'd like to do a bit of weathering down the bottom, so that'll be something new to look at. So yeah, if you liked the video, please like it. If you think anybody would benefit from it, share it with them. And hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.